Joe, what are you doing right now?
I'm looking for my harmonic.
You're looking for... Remember, I literally got calls yesterday, and I was like, they're like, yo, who's on the podcast tomorrow? I'm like, Joe. He's fucking hilarious. He's a cartoon character in real life. It's gonna be amazing. And they're like, there's no way he's gonna be on time.
Hey. Found it.
All right, so we're outside a recent project. Just picked this up a week or two ago out in Central Islip. Really important lesson in today's vlog is to get creative as far as deals and the level of work that you do. What do I mean by that? We're in a very, very tough market, right? A lot of things going on. A lot of competition, not a lot of inventory, especially at this price point. This is the first time home buyer price point. Very solid area, a lot of action, a lot of people. This is where you want to be right now. But it's not easy to get deals like this. They're few and far between. It's like 2 years ago, we can go buy 100 houses. Now, it's not possible because we don't want to go above that $400,000 threshold in Suffolk or the $550,000 threshold in Nassau County. So you got to get creative, meaning when we do rehabs, we do full gut everything. I'm talking soup to nuts. There's nothing left over. It's just sticks and we go. So new plumbing, new electric, new insulation, everything done to the nine, open layout, etc. But construction costs are through the roof and the margins are very, very tight. You still got to make a living and you still want to put out a good product. How do you do that? When you go into these houses and you look at them, you got to say, okay, what is the market like? What are these things selling for? There's certain things that now I get a good deal on that I just put right back on the market and I don't do anything to, and I make as much, maybe a little bit less, sometimes actually more, believe it or not, than I would have if I did my full normal renovation. Then there's some that you have to go the distance, like I one in Wantagh that has got compressed cat shit that's stacked 3 inches off the floor. That you have to, but you make sure that you get that thing at a number where you can go the full 9 and do it the right way. And then there's something like this where, you know, the spread is not amazing, but the house also isn't that jacked up. So you kind of do this happy medium where you do a nice job, but you don't have to completely gut the whole place and do all the electric and change the heating system and all that. Certain things you have to tune up. You might get a little bit less, or even because there's such little inventory, you might get the same as you would before, but you turn it into a deal and you still provide a quality product for who's gonna buy it. So let's go in, check it out. Haven't been here in a while, let's see what the boys have done. Nice. Nice. So, as you guys can see, this is a colonial, Central Islip, 3 bedrooms, 4 bedrooms, 1.5 bathrooms, basement. Now typically, a couple years ago, if I got this thing at the right number, it was in worse shape, I would have done a different level of rehab. I would have blown this wall out, put a header in, full gut reno, maybe an outside entrance, because this area you're allowed to have legal accessory apartment permits, and typically people rent part of these. But at this house, with this deal, at this time, I couldn't afford to do it, and based on the level of work I'm gonna do and where I see the market going, I'd rather price it a little bit lower. So this is a different level of rehab, as you see. We changed the sheetrock in the kitchen because we always fully gut the kitchens and bathrooms, but the rest of the sheetrock wasn't bad. So we skim coated everything, we'll sand it, and it'll have a nice finish. Nobody will be able to tell, and it's still a very, very quality product. It just doesn't need that level of rehab that we usually do. Another example of toning it down. Sometimes I have a tendency to go overboard with most things in life, right? But sometimes it just doesn't make sense, especially when you're in a tight market. Like I'm standing in the garage right now. If you can kind of get a visual, this used to be a bedroom, like an illegal bedroom. So if I wanted to, I could have left this, legalized it, turned the half bath there into a full bath. Maybe they use this as an apartment, or maybe they have a large family. But you gotta weigh it. You gotta say, you know what, is it worth me spending $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $10,000? How much am I gonna get on the other end? You know, when you have a house in this price point, called $325,000, $330,000 price point, is spending that extra money really going to matter? No, you have like this psychological barrier, this threshold where the group of people in that area looking for that type of house are not going to exceed a certain number. It doesn't matter what you do. So it's called norming the area. You want to go into an area and you want to see what people are doing. You want to build to that level, maybe a little bit higher. But if you go much higher than that, you're just spending money for no reason. You're never ever going to get it back. wanted to talk a little bit about financing structure. I've had a bunch of people DMing me, hitting me up on IG, and the most recent question, and you know who you are, this is for you, is what do? I have a property, do I do a cash out refi on this property, or do I do a line of credit? There's no cut and dry here. There's pros and cons to both, and let me explain, all right? A line of credit on investment property is a little bit more difficult. Even if it's on your home, yes, you can get it. The thing that you have to realize is, one, those rates are floating. So it's LIBOR plus whatever, or LIBOR, whatever kind of teaser rate you get. So if it's 2.2 plus 1 point or 2 points, it's really cheap money. The great thing is you can draw on it if you need it, and if you don't need it, you put it back in and you're not paying any interest. Here's the one thing, well, the two things that you have to worry about. A, if interest rates spike, which they're probably not, if anything, they might go down right now. So you're probably safe there. Two, if we go into some kind of a recession, I believe we're basically there. Depending on how heavy the recession is, banks freeze lines of credit. So if you need that money, sometimes they'll freeze it, and then you have no access to capital in a time where you really can take advantage of that. I'm going through something similar with a commercial property, going back and forth about this. Now, if you do a cash out refinance, you're taking the money out and you have to pay every single month, but your rate is locked in, and God forbid there's a major recession or a recession that triggers credit lines to get frozen like it was in 2008, 2009, you have the money. They've already given it to you. You can't take it back. My money, can't take it back. So there's not a right or a wrong. It's not black, it's not white. You just have to understand that this is what you're dealing with the refi, this is what you're dealing with on a line of credit, and make the decision that works best for you and your business model.